you think that Dabo Swinney is a better coach than
I didn't say that.
Nick Saban?
I didn't say that. You didn't hear what I said.
I think he was saying better player developer.
Better player
Dabo
developer.
Swinney isn't even the best coach on his staff. How's that?
That's great. That's your opinion. Dabo Swinney he has two quarterbacks that are going to go into the NFL that are going to be elite quarterbacks. How many elite quarterbacks has Mr. Saban coached that are elite NFL players?
Before listen, I think that you're skewing the argument here right now too, right? Because okay, he's put one elite quarterback in the league, and then I think it's fair to say the jury is still out on Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mac Jones, just like the jury is still going to be out on Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Too early to call that, correct?
Probably, yes. But we pretty much figure that Trevor Lawrence is going to be
So it's 1-0, right? It's 1-0. That's what it is.
Fine, if that's what you want to say. But you know damn well that's not going to be 1-0. It's going to be 2-0.
What? So 2-1? If Mac Jones pans out, 2-1?
Oh, come on, Mac Jones. You were about to jump off a ledge when Mac Jones was drafted by the Patriots.
I wasn't in favor of it at the time, but I told you when he got drafted, if there's a coach in the league that is going to put him in position. Dude, he made Matt Castle an 11-5
we talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time. And I think Belichick puts his quarterbacks in very good position. But that doesn't mean Mac Jones is going to be put in position to succeed.
It's 1-0. We don't know if Tua is going to be good or not. What if Tua is good?
Oh, give me a break. We know what Tua is.
Then
he's
it's
garbage.
the same.
We know he's garbage, dude.
Then it's the same, dude.
We know
and Nick Saban is not
He always has we talk about it all the time. He always has the number one recruiting class. Do we not talk about that? I mean, if you have the number one recruiting class.
Right, but you know who always has the number 2 recruiting class? Clemson.
Really?
All right, so Bryce Young was the number 1 quarterback coming out of high school 2 years ago. Do you know who number 2 was?
Who?
DJ Ugalele. Mm-hmm. Where did he go?
He went to the Clemson Tigers.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they get just as many guys, right? We could go back
to quarterbacks. They get quarterbacks.
I mean, they've had 2. They've had 2 quarterbacks, and we don't. And Ugalele, by the way. Not to toot my own horn, but toot because Georgia, they stuffed Clemson in a mayonnaise jar the other night.
Oh yeah.
By the way, we could be right about this Tampa Bay and Cowboy game. By the way, so
I mean, what did I tell you from the beginning?
You did.
I said if they're going to have a chance,
I mentioned
one because Brady starts slow.
You got to listen to the show because I said you watched. Me and Jeff were talking about it, and Jeff was the first person to say I wouldn't be surprised if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose.
Right, and before the end of the year, I'm going to have you all on the Georgia Bulldogs bandwagon, and I called it 2 months ago.
You really like Georgia, huh?
Dude, they were missing a ton of pieces on offense because I realized their offense didn't look great, but they totally contained Clemson's offense and were even scoring points on defense. Name a more impressive performance than what Georgia did, because I could make the case to you while Alabama looked much better than I thought that they were.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
They also played Miami in the ACC. How many games did an ACC team win this last weekend?
None. And I don't watch. And I don't.
By the way, the only ACC team that won this last weekend is because they played an ACC team. Virginia Tech beating North Carolina,
who was number 10. Now they're
right.
Are they even ranked anymore?
Every other ACC school lost, including Duke, who got stuffed in a locker by Charlotte.
No, and again, when Carl was, arguing with me on the take over there, listen, it's not the take that I say that Saban isn't an all-around better coach than Dabo Swinney. In my eyes, player development, I think Dabo Swinney's a better coach. That's just my opinion.
It's not even close. It's Nick Saban by a mile, right? He's got Swinney's got Brett Venables on his staff, and they keep paying him more and more absurd money to stay with Clemson, right? Nick Saban don't give 2 shits. Brian Daboll, leave. Sarkisian, leave. Lane Kiffin, leave. Dude, he's had more coaches than I can remember, and Nick Saban is.
He also has the number 1 recruiting class every year.
So Clemson always has a top recruiting class as well.
Not number 1. Not when you can take your pick.
I mean, come on. Honestly,
come on. We talk about this all the time, Jeff. Now all of a sudden you're going back on what you say. You talk about
they always have the number one recruiting class. But
right.
again, why would that be? Would that be because Nick Saban doesn't know what he's doing, or do you think these players coming up want to get into the NFL? Who does that more than anybody? Who does that more than anybody? By the way, Nick Saban 2 days ago had the cockiest brag on the planet. He was like, he saw all those Miami players on the sidelines. He's like, yeah, I was going to call all of our guys. He's like, but we don't have enough room on the sidelines for all of them.
Wow, good for him. I mean,
he's put more people in the NFL than anybody else.
Carl says, okay, I see your points, but every other quarterback, for quarterbacks, but every other position has to go to Saban with that take as well.
And I agree.
So Saban has coached up more overall talent, so again, Saban is better.
That doesn't mean he's better. That's not, I'm sorry.
Besides DeShaun Watson, and you're making the quarterback argument, besides DeShaun Watson, who's he put in the league that's been any good?
DeAndre Hopkins.
I was just about to say that.
Two. Okay.
Two? What?
Oh, wait, hold on. We're mentioning wide receivers, then Julio Jones and Amari Cooper alone are two.
Well, but this
no.
I
agree with Jeff.
Tyler, that's my exact point is, okay, it's 1-0 in the quarterback race, but you can name, I don't know, 5-6 guys that are really excelling
when
in the
you have
NFL.
the number one recruiting class every year. I mean, you're going to hit on a lot of them, but you're also going to fail.
Clemson has the number 2 recruiting class every year, too. And he shouldn't be as far behind in putting people in the NFL.
Where were they ranked this year? Where were they ranked this year in the recruiting class? Were they?
2.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
And the year before that, were they 2?
Yeah, they're either 2 or 3 like every year.
Yeah, I think 1 year they were 3 because Georgia was 2.
By the way, the team that jumped them was Georgia, and they don't seem to be putting a ton of guys in the league either. By the way,
Carl says part of it was a bad take. You make good points. Tyler, tell us our heads are up our asses. John Shire getting quality recruits. Haha, did I get Errol stewing over this on this one, Speedy?
John Shire.
Brady deflated balls, so juiced balls are not. What is your point, Tyler? Snug says Jeter came up in 96, the summer of 98 with McGuire and Sosa, juiced balls.
Really, the argument, and by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off, Speedy. The argument was Tyler last night, Jeff, he mentioned that Tom Brady, if he wins his 8th championship, he's going to go down as the greatest of all time in all of sports.
I mean, he already is. So
of all sports. And I said,
he already is.
No,
so
he's not.
pointless.
He's not better than Michael Jordan. He's not. He definitely isn't. Michael Jordan never lost.
Much harder to win a championship in football than it is in basketball.
Really, you got to play 7 games, and Michael Jordan did it in a time with look at the players he had to beat. Look at the teams. Look at the super teams he had to beat. And when you have Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and all those players saying that he's the greatest athlete, he's the greatest player, Magic Johnson said you could tie an arm behind Michael Jordan, and he'd still beat me one-on-one.
Look at all the super teams Brady had to beat.
Oh, come on, Jeff. Listen, you're a Patriots fan, so of course you're going to say Tom Brady.
No, I'm a Patriot fan, so I can rebut your dumb argument.
It's not a dumb argument.
There's a reason why.
It was a dumb argument comparing Tom Brady to Michael Jordan.
Who did Brady win his first championship against?
Who?
The greatest show on turf.
The Rams, that's right.
What did they call him, Tyler?
Spygate.
Spygate. Kurt Warner.
Spygate.
Torrey Holt. Isaac Bruce.
Cheating.
Marshall Faulk.
Cheating.
All Hall of Famers.
Cheating.
That's 4 Hall of Famers as a rookie.
See, do you see what you're
cheating?
You keep yelling that over and over again.
It is.
But again,
true.
They weren't.
What happened to the tapes?
What
happened to the tapes? What happened to the tapes?
Go talk to Roger. Go talk to Roger.
Go talk to Roger. Maybe because he was great friends with Bill Belichick, and he did. I mean, great friends with.
We're both wrong because wouldn't that be Paul Tagliabue?
Yeah, get out of here. It was Goodell, and Goodell was the one that destroyed the tapes.
You will honestly.
Goodell was not commissioner in 2000.
To diminish him beating the greatest show on turf. You'll do anything to diminish that.
No, they cheated. They cheated.
At every turn, you're going to make an excuse.
They cheated. Jeff, you don't say – I don't want to hear your crap. You know they cheated. They cheated.
Were they penalized?
Penalized? They won a Super Bowl. I would be penalized too. What do you mean they were penalized? They were. They were.
And by the way, every time people yell cheating, here's the other thing. They yell cheating all the time. Oh, they cheated. Dude, Brady went into a court and won in a court about cheating, and you will still yell about it.
This has nothing to do with Spygate. Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
Freaking God.
That's actually not even what I was talking about. But that shows how much you know.
What are you talking about? You're bringing up this stupid deflated ball. I know what you're talking about, and that has nothing to do with Spygate. And I do know what I'm talking about. They cheated when they won that Super Bowl.
But this is the thing, though. You're going to yell cheating at everything, right? That's all you're. That's
No, not.
Your
You brought up a game that they cheated on. That's my opinion, and that's a fact too.
Oh, it's a fact.
It is. They destroyed the tapes, did they not?
Yeah. No, they destroyed the Rams, is what they did.
No, they destroyed the Rams because they knew every single play because they cheated. That's what they did.
They knew every single play.
They knew every single play. Go look at that game. Go watch that game. And the Rams.
Oh my God.
That game.
Who fumbles on the goal line like that?
Godwin. That's Chris Godwin. That's what I'm going to say. And
Dude, he also dropped that touchdown pass, the alligator around that touchdown pass that Brady delightfully threw into him. Jesus.
Let me ask you a question because I don't know if you were listening to the whole vaccine thing, and I know you have your own opinions towards the vaccine, not the political thing, but the NFL. Do you agree what the NFL is doing? I know you're going to say yes, but I want people to know why you think the NFL is right to suspend players 4 games with no money, and then if they come back and they still don't take the vaccine, if they come down with COVID, that their team can forfeit that game.
Here's what the whiny crybabies need to learn. And they need to come to grips with this. You have to be vaccinated. First of all, the NFL is a private entity. They can do what they want. Private businesses can do what they want. Cry about it all you want. They can, right? So there's vaccine mandates to go to school. Like when you were a kid, you had to have a measles vaccine. You had to have a mumps vaccine. You had to have like smallpox. You had to have all of that sort of stuff. It's for the greater good. You are actually a worthless cunt if you're not for the greater good. It's FDA approved. It's safe. First of all, no one's been dying from the vaccine from the beginning. There's a whole bunch of misinformation out there about it, right? No one's died from. You know what people are dying from? COVID. That's what they're dying from.
Right.
Vaccinated or non-vaccinated.
Dude, your chances greatly increase of surviving. Like, you can probably still get sick. Yeah, that's fine. Your chances of survival greatly, vastly increase. The people that are dying are part of the stupids in this country.
Carl says, why does Georgia always blow it? I want to believe, but they always blow it. And Snug
Dude,
says,
trust me, man. That's my struggle the whole time with Georgia. Like, when I was talking with Errol 2 months ago about picking Georgia, I was like, I'm picking Georgia.
Yep.
That was my first comment was, dude, they always choke, but I just got a feeling this year. I like Georgia.
I had them as I think my third of the 4 playoff.
No,
teams.
you had Jeff had Georgia.
Jeff had Georgia. You
all
had
the way through.
Georgia number 1 overall.
Yeah. He had Georgia winning the national championship.
Oh, nice. Snug says, what's the difference between a number 1 and number 2 recruiting class? A couple of players, maybe. Yeah, if they play that defense the way they played against Clemson, that's massive.
You know what, dude, I'm on the Nick Saban train, and that's not true either. Alabama probably gets 10, 15, 16 more players than Clemson will. It's that lopsided. Alabama really does get more talent than Clemson. But Clemson gets vastly more talent than everybody else, too, though.
Well, my thoughts with this, and I want to go into this, and I know you hate Ben Simmons. We've talked about this many times.
Ben Simmons shouldn't even be allowed to have hands to shoot a basketball. He should be amputated.
What do you think about?
He should just play defense with 2 nubs.
What do you think about Ben Simmons going to Toronto? Toronto is they're saying that this deal could be closed by as early as Friday, tomorrow, in the next 24 hours. Ben Simmons goes to Toronto. Are they a contender?
Man, I want to say yes, but probably no. Like, what's going back? Like, if Pascal Siakam is going back, that's a terrible deal.
No, it's not Siakam. It's not Siakam.
Well, who's going back?
Yeah, who else is worth it?
They're talking about draft picks, and here, I'll bring it up.
And you're taking the whole salary. If I'm not getting a good player back, you're taking the whole
who's going back is equally as important,
right?
right?
Because
you're
it's got to match.
Ben Simmons, if you're losing, if you lose Van Vliet, whatever that guy's name is, and Siakam, are you a better team? No.
Toronto Raptors, Ben Simmons.
Well, you look up that. Carl says Georgia is crazy. It is like they never get past number 5. They did the year against Tua, but that's been it. And then CeeDee Lamb is going to drop a meaningful pass here. Yeah, and then the Beeve will call up and say, "See, I told you about CeeDee Lamb. He stinks." That's what he'll say.
It would be three.
Dude, Dallas is going to win this game. There's under 3 minutes left, and they have the ball.
No, they're going to get into field goal range, and Greg Zuerlein will miss again. That's what's going to happen.
No, dude. No, this will be the make.